Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be learning how to draft a princess dart bustier. And then the first thing we are going to do right here is to fold our pattern paper into two. Mine is already folded into two. So if you're using your fabric or your pattern paper, you fold it into two just this way. We are drafting the front pattern first. So the next thing I'm going to do right here is to take my tape to take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder divided by 2, I'm just going to go ahead and mark it right here. So from my shoulder point, I'm going to come down to mark my armhole point. Then from the top of the paper, my bust point, my under bust, and my waistline. So I'm just going to go ahead and rule out all the lines just so I can impute my measurements. So I'm just going to indicate on all the lines just so we don't get confused along the way. This is my chest line where my armhole will be sitting, my bust point, my under bust, and my waistline. So these are all the measurement we need for the front pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead to take my neck measurements. I'm using 3 by 3 for my neck measurements for the length and width of my neck. But if you want your neck deeper than mine, you can use more than 3 for the width of your neck. It depends on how deep you want it. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm using 3 by 3 for the length and width of my neck. I'm just going ahead to connect it with my French curve. So the next thing I'm going to do right here, from this shoulder point, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So place my tape on the shoulder point, come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and then I'll take my rule to connect it to my neck this way. Then the next thing I'm going to do right here is to take my tape on this armhole line. I'm going to measure whatever I have there. I'm just going to place my tape this way, then I'm mark the center point. Whatever you have there, you mark the center point, and then divide your bust by 4 and mark it on the chest line so we can get our armhole curve. Then on that center point, you come out by 0.25 to get your shoulder armhole curve, this way. And then divide your nipple to nipple by 2 and mark it on the under bust. My nipple to nipple is 3.5, but I'm using 4 inch on the bust point, then 3.5 on the under bust and 3.5 on the waistline as well. Remember, I marked 4 inches on the bust point. So I'll just go ahead and connect the points together. I marked 3.5 on the under bust and waistline, and then 4 inches on the bust point. This is my nipple divided by 2. So I'll just measure whatever I have on this armhole. I have 8, as you can see right there. Half of 8 is 4. I'm just going to mark the 4 on the armhole line like this, and then connect the line together to meet that point on the armhole line this way. Remember that it's on this side that we are taking our darts. So if you are from size 32 to 36, you can use 1.5 for your dart. If you are from 38 to 40, you can use 2 inches. If you are from 40 upward, you can use 2 inches for your darts. So I'm using 1.5 for my darts. So I'm just going to mark 1.5 right here. 1.5 on the under bust as well, and then connect the points together. So I'm going to take this line to meet that breast point, but I don't want it pointy on that point, so I'm going to come down by 1 inch from the breast point. From the bust point, I'm coming down by 1 inch like this, and then use my French curve to connect this line to meet it this way. This is for our dart, and we're also going to take our dart on this armhole line as well. So if you're of smaller size, you can use 1.5. If you're of a bigger size, you can use 2 inches. So I'm using 1.5. From this line here, you come down by 1.5. If you're of a bigger size, you can use 2 inches. So you mark the 1.5 there, and then connect it with my French curve to meet this bust point, and then use my marker to smooth it just this way. Remember that whatever you took for your dart on your armhole point, you are going to replace it, because while joining the two, this other part becomes shorter. So the 1.5 I took for my dart on this armhole point, I'm replacing it. So I'm marking 1.5 I took for my dart. I'm going to extend the line to meet that point. This way. So here on this chest line also, the 1.5 you took for your darts here, you are going to replace it too. So I'll just go ahead and mark 1.5 on this chest line. Here I'm replacing the 1.5 I took for my darts. Then I'm going to divide my bust by 4 and mark it right here, is there, and then the 1.5 I've already replaced it, and then I'm marking 2 extra 2 inches for my sewing allowance. Then I'll come to the under bust and take my under bust measurement. My under bust measurement is 29 divided by 4. I'll mark it, and then remember that whatever you took for your dart here too, you are placing in the 1.5 I took for my dart, I'm replacing it here, and then 2 inches for my sewing allowance, the way we did on the chest line. Also, my waist measurement is 26 divided by 4. I've marked it. Then the 1.5 I took for my dart, I'm replacing it, and then 2 inches for my sewing allowance as well. So I'll just go ahead and connect all the lines together, all the points together rather. Connect the points together this way. So this line we have here is our new armhole. So I'm just going to connect it from this line using my French curve. This line here, connect it together this way. So this is our new armhole. I hope you are following though. You understand everything we did here. So this is basically the front part of our pattern, or of our top. So I'm just going to cancel out this place we don't need. This place I'm cancelling now, we don't need it, we are going to cut it out. This is, so I'll just take out my scissors to cut the front pattern. So this is the front pattern, very simple, very easy to draft. I hope you followed all the steps though. As you can see, this is how you are going to join them. Very simple, right? So I'm just going to take this out so we can draft the back pattern. This line I have ruled out here is for our zip. So this part here is for our zipper allowance. So from this line here, I'm going to take our shoulder measurement as well, our armhole points, like the way we did on the front part, then our waist points. These are only the measurement we need for the back. Our armhole, our waist line, our shoulder. These are only the measurements we need for the back, and then connect the points together this way. So I'll just indicate on it. This is our chest line and waist. So from the top of our pattern paper, I'm going to mark my neck also, but this time I'm taking 3 by 2 for my neck. The length of my neck is 3, then while the width is 2. I'm not using 3 for the width of my neck this time, so it's 3 by 2. So like the way we did on the front pattern, on this shoulder point, I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll just mark it and then connect it to the neck. This is our shoulder slope. Then I will come down to impute my darts. Like my nipple to nipple is 3.5. I'll mark it on the waist line and then take it all the way up like this. Leave an inch, have an a 0.5, and then on the both side I'm taking half inch this way. This is for our back dart, and then connect it to meet that point, that line there. As you can see, I leave about 0.2 inch from the chest line. Then you connect your dart this way. Then you give your armhole a curve. This is your armhole curve. Use your French curve to curve it that way. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to impute my measurement, my bust measurement divided by 4. You mark it on the armhole line, on the chest line rather. Then you add 2 inches for your allowance. So this 1 inch I took for my dart here, I'm going to replace it. My waist divided by 4, I'll mark it right here. Then the 1 inch I took for my dart, I'll replace it, the 1 inch. Remember, whatever you take for your dart, you are replacing it. And then 2 inches for my sewing allowance. I just marked it right there. I'm very sorry, like the camera is shaky, it's not stable. I'm sorry. It is the person that held the camera for me. It was my little brother, so he was kind of tired along the way, so he didn't. Then from this line, you extend this line to meet this our zipper allowance, the line on your waistline. Then you come in by 1 inch, because I don't want my zip bulging out, so you just give a slant line like this. You come on this your waistline, you come in by 1 inch and then give a slant like this, so that you don't have this bulgy this thing on your back. Then go ahead and cut it. The back is very simple. All you need is your waist measurement, your bust measurement, and then your dart. Then you divide on your waist line, you divide your nipple to nipple, which is 3 for myself, and then you mark it, and then you extend the line. Then take half an inch on both sides of the point and then connect it for your dart. That is all. The back is very, very simple. You cut out that slant this way. This is for our back pattern. Very, very easy. The back doesn't need too much work like the front. I hope you followed the tutorial carefully. It's very simple. If you pay attention very well, you realize that the tutorial is very easy and beginners friendly. Very, very simple. So this is our princess dart. On our next video, probably we use this pattern to cut out on our fabric, so we can do the sewing as well. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up. I love you. Thank you.